Welcome to Wawa Sandwire. Today we're talking about Lim Guan Eng's public spat with Democratic Action Party veteran Teng Chang Khim over Malaysia's complex tax history and the enduring chaos surrounding tax refunds.
And this is far more than just some internal party squabble or, political gossip.
Right.
This gets to the heart of accountability. We're trying to understand who really holds the political responsibility for all the confusion around the current sales and service tax, the SST.
And how much the ghost of the old goods and services tax, the GST, is still hanging over everything.
Exactly. We really need to unpack the arguments from both sides because they reveal some deep systemic problems in how the country collects its revenue.
Okay, so let's jump right into it. Teng Chang Khim, he came out with a very pointed criticism. He didn't just hint at a problem, he essentially pointed the finger straight at Lim Guan Eng, said he needs to shoulder the political responsibility for this mess.
Which is a huge thing to say about a senior leader in your own party and a former finance minister, no less.
So what's the basis for this? What's Teng Chang Khim's core argument?
His focus is purely on the systemic damage, the administrative fallout. He's saying that all these massive outstanding refunds we're seeing, the endless taxpayer complaints, it's a direct consequence of one single move, the total negation of GST when the government changed years ago.
Total negation. That's a strong phrase.
It is. It suggests it wasn't a careful transition. It was a sudden, politically driven move that basically just broke the machine.
Can you explain that a bit more? Why did just switching the tax system create such a long-lasting nightmare?
Well, it's about how the two systems work. GST it's a complex, multi-stage tax. The key is the input tax credit.
Right. Businesses claim back the tax they paid on their costs.
Exactly. So the system is structurally built around giving refunds. It has to work efficiently for money to flow.
So if the government suddenly just says that system is gone, what happens to all the claims already in the pipeline? We're talking billions of ringgit.
They get stuck. They enter the state of limbo. Teng Chang Khim's point is that by jumping overnight to the SST, which is a much simpler single-stage tax and not refund-heavy, the whole mechanism for processing those GST claims it either collapsed or was ignored.
The system designed to handle those credits was just mothballed,
leaving behind this mountain of debt owed to taxpayers that just doesn't go away easily.
So in Teng's view, this created a trap. The new system, SST, can't work well because it's haunted by the mess of the old one.
And you can't go back to the old one because it's politically toxic.
We're stuck in administrative purgatory.
Precisely. And that's his political point. When a popular decision, getting rid of an unpopular tax, leads to years of dysfunction, who takes the blame?
Which is where Lim Guan Eng comes in. He doesn't really deny the policy change itself, but he completely reframes who's to blame. He shifts it to historical loyalty and the democratic mandate.
Absolutely. His defense wasn't about administration. It was purely political. He's calling for party solidarity, reminding everyone that the opposition to GST was a united front.
He was very clear, saying every single member of the Democratic Action Party, and that includes Teng Chang Khim, was against GST back then.
It's a powerful argument, isn't it? It's like saying, you were demanding we do this, and now you're complaining about the consequences.
And he backs it up with the 2018 mandate.
That's his main pillar. He stresses that replacing GST with SST wasn't his personal project. It was a core promise in the Pakatan Harapan Coalition election manifesto.
A manifesto that Teng Chang Khim supported.
Right. And he makes the point that at the time, nobody in the party objected, not one person. They all ran on that promise.
That really shifts the blame from one person to a collective decision. The public voted for it.
But, and here's a question for you listening. Does a political mandate excuse a messy execution? That's the real tension here, isn't it? Teng Chang Khim is saying the operational failure is what matters now. Lim Guan Eng is saying the mandate was what mattered then, and cleaning up is just part of fulfilling that promise.
It's a classic political dilemma.
And you have to question the timing. Why bring this up now, years later, when the whole team took credit for the win in 2018?
Let's move to the money, though. Because Lim Guan Eng pivots from the political argument back to the financial reason he says GST had to go.
Yes, the original refund crisis. This is a crucial part of his defense.
He uses hard numbers to justify it. He says the real reason they opposed GST so fiercely wasn't just the tax itself, but the fact the previous government wasn't paying people back.
He cited a specific figure, RM 39.1 billion.
39.1 billion ringgit. That is a staggering amount of money.
It's enormous. That's cash flow that belonged to businesses, big and small, just locked up in the government system. It was crippling the economy.
So was that just slow paperwork, or was it something deeper?
It was a deep systemic failure. The GST system needs the government to constantly allocate funds to pay out those refunds. If they don't, or if they slow it down on purpose, that debt just grows and grows.
So the old system was already fundamentally broken in its most critical function.
According to Lim Guan Eng, yes. It was failing to return money that was owed. That's a powerful justification for getting rid of it.
And he uses that to boost his own credentials, doesn't he?
He does. He asserts that when he became finance minister, he was the one who managed to pay back that outstanding revenue.
So he's saying, not only was the old system broken, but I was the one who fixed the mess it left behind.
Exactly. It frames him as the responsible one who cleaned up a crisis. It's a very effective two-pronged defense. One, the party agreed. Two, it was financially necessary.
Okay, so that's the history. But what about now? Because Lim Guan Eng is now fighting against the expansion of the very SST system he brought in.
And that's where this whole debate gets really interesting. It moves from the past right into the present administration's policies.
Why is he opposing it? What's he objecting to?
He's not opposing SST as a whole. He's very specific. He's against its expansion into new areas, specifically putting SST on rental fees in certain construction sectors.
But wouldn't that bring in more revenue? Isn't that what the government needs after getting rid of GST?
Of course, but he's arguing that it's the wrong way to do it, that it's a policy creep that will hurt ordinary people and the economy.
How so?
Well, putting a tax on rent could directly increase the cost of living. It could also inflate commercial rents, which hits every small business. The construction tax could slow down development and make housing more expensive.
It's fascinating how persistent he's been about this. The report says he's raised objections 7 times in Parliament.
7 times. That's not just a casual disagreement. That is a deliberate, public, and documented record of opposition.
Like political insurance.
Absolutely. If this SST expansion goes through and causes economic problems, he can turn around and say, I told you so, 7 times.
So by doing this so publicly, he's effectively pushing the final decision-making upstairs.
Straight to the top. He's made it clear that the ultimate responsibility for this now rests with the Prime Minister, Datuk Seri Anwar Ibrahim.
He said he's waiting for the Prime Minister's response to these challenges.
Which puts the current administration in a very tough spot. This entire complex history, the RM 39.1 billion backlog, the chaotic transition, this public spat, it all lands on the Prime Minister's desk as a major policy test.
And it all comes down to a fundamental question, doesn't it? Who is actually responsible when a major policy change, even a popular one, leads to this much chaos?
Is it the person who championed the change because of a manifesto? Or does the real blame lie with the failures of the previous system that made such a drastic change necessary in the first place?
It really feels like that RM 39.1 billion bill from all those years ago is still dictating politics today.
The past is never really past, especially when it comes to the nation's finances.
That's all the time we have for this analysis. If you felt these insights valuable, please do share this discussion with others who might benefit from this perspective. Remember to like and subscribe for more videos like this.